The Rangers lose to the New Jersey Devils 2-1, and with this result, I definitely think that while not impossible, any chance that the Rangers had of coming in second is now basically done. And now it's back to, Carolina or the Devils as far as who's in first, who's in second. That's still very much up for grabs. The Rangers now find themselves 4 points behind New Jersey, same games. They are also 5 points behind Carolina, with Carolina having a game in hand. And so Carolina is 1 point ahead of the Devils, and Carolina has that game in hand. So Hurricanes have the slight edge. And, I see there's a lot of positive Ranger response out there, and that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. But this Jersey team really will give the Rangers problems. And look, the Rangers only lost 2-1 in a game where the Devils were definitely better, right? I guess that could be seen as a positive, where the Devils played a really good game, the Rangers didn't, and it was still close. Sure. And if there was any way the Rangers were going to take the Devils, not that you win a playoff series, that just shouldn't happen. But look, the Rangers know what the Devils are about. The Devils beat the Rangers 3 to 4 times this year. The Devils pose a definite issue for the Rangers. Do not be surprised. No one should be surprised that the Devils beat the Rangers in the playoffs. I'm sorry. No one should be surprised by that. This is a really good New Jersey Devils team that's got a lot of speed, and that really has given the Rangers fits. Now that there's a few things to consider that will be better. One of those things being that Ben Harpur is in the lineup tonight, and that Harpur-Schneider pair was absolutely dreadful. Absolutely dreadful. And so when Lindgren comes back, and again, with Lindgren, give him as much time as he needs, even if it means him not playing another regular season game. What is there, 7 games left? If it means him not playing again, I'm fine with that, this regular season. He is very important, and that bottom pair was horrific. And Braden Schneider as well. It's easy to pile on Ben Harpur, and believe me, I don't think Ben Harpur is very good. I don't even really know if he's necessarily a good 7th defenseman. But I digress. But Schneider as well. It's a bad pair. And so what happens is you can then, Niko Mikkola has been good. I think Mikkola has been really solid. Him and Adam Fox has been a really, really good pair lately. It took them some time to gain some chemistry. And it took Mikkola it was an adjustment for him coming from St. Louis Rangers. I like what he's brought to the table. And so, look, maybe the Mikkola-Schneider pair won't be great, but it'll be a lot better than Harpur-Schneider. So that's one positive to look at. Another positive is that Igor Shesterkin is really Igor again. And if not for him, this game would have been long gone in the first period. Long gone. It could have been worse than being down 2-0. So Igor, very locked in. But look, this Devil team is no fucking joke. And I feel like Ranger fans are kind of taking them lightly, and I don't think that they should be doing that. You look at what the Rangers did last year. People kind of thought it was fool's gold, and look what the Rangers did. The Devils, they're capable of that. They are. I know that maybe on paper, you look at the defense, it's not all that impressive, 1 through 6, but they sure as hell, look, they shut it down tonight. As much as I thought the Rangers got better as the game went on, the Rangers could have tied this game. Vlad Tarasenko was very close, 6-on-5. To tie this game, but Ryan Graves, the former Ranger draft pick, was able to, make the defensive play in front of the net to stop Tarasenko from having a chance to score in the open net. So, not thrilled about what I saw. I continue to be of the mindset that I think I would prefer Carolina over the Devils. Is the margin wide? Probably not. I don't think it's an obvious thing, but I'll also say that I'm kind of happy. Part of me isn't all that upset with the Devil win and Carolina getting no points tonight, which that was a late result where Detroit scored with, I believe, maybe less than 5 seconds left in regulation to beat the Hurricanes. So certainly this division is very much up for grabs. And sure, the Rangers are still only 4 points back. I've seen much crazier things. They could absolutely, catch up to the Devils again, but this head-to-head matchup, edged New Jersey this season. In the 4 games, the Devils were the better team collectively. And it would be fun. The rivalry, it would be a rivalry renewed. That's for sure. You could tell that there's animosity between these two teams. But I feel like Ranger fans are just maybe I'm going the other way, but I just feel like Ranger fans are kind of somewhat dismissing the Devils. Like, we'll still be fine. This would be a series that would go to me at least 6 or 7 games. I'm not concerned about the home ice thing. I'm not really concerned about. I never was. Like Jersey getting home ice, that's not. I don't really care about that in this case. Would I have wanted home ice? Yeah, but the Ranger fans, are really, really, they're out in droves at the Prudential Center. It kind of sometimes feels like a Ranger home game there. So that's not a huge deal. In terms of other thoughts before we run through the play-by-play of this game, the kid line wasn't very good. And it was that combination where Gallant had the kid line out and the third defensive pair, and it was not good. I thought the kid line wasn't really doing a whole lot of anything tonight, which was disappointing. The fourth line didn't really get much ice time, which I can understand, but I thought that they, had some decent shifts. In a game like this, I actually, wouldn't have hated them getting a little bit more time. Although, of course, when you're trailing, that's the last line you're going to have out there. So I totally get it from that standpoint. And then the top six, yeah, I mean, not great for me. Like I won't single anyone out, even though I have thoughts on certain players. I won't single anyone out here, but I did like Trocheck's game. I thought Vinny Trocheck, and again, I think his style of play is really is going to be good for the playoffs. I really feel like Trocheck, brings some speed, brings some snarl. And that will, serve him and the Rangers well. But, the first period was an absolute disaster. And the Devils, they outshot the Rangers 14-8. And 5 minutes and 17 seconds in, it was a goal by Erik Haula. His 10th goal of the season, assisted by Hamilton and Siegenthaler. This is after the Devils were already doing well, and they score, and this was where it was the kid line plus, Harper Schneider that was on. And to me, it was just, I don't know where Ben Harper was like necessary. I feel like he kind of just missed his assignment in front, and it made it for an easy tip-in for Haula. And the Devils take a 1-0 lead at that point. The Devils really dominated this period. Absolutely. I mean, as a Ranger fan, it's like, this wasn't good. And we've seen the Rangers a lot this year. They don't really play 60 minutes. It's rare that you see a 60-minute effort from the New York Rangers. But again, it's not a playoff game. And so, it's hopefully in the playoffs, it's a different story. But K'Andre Miller takes a tripping penalty at 15:50, and it would come back to bite the Rangers as the Devils score on the power play. Timo Meier, the acquisition from the San Jose Sharks, scores his 36th goal of the season from Hughes and Hischier. And again, that's another thing in my mind, where the Devils, they acquire Timo Meier, and meanwhile, Carolina loses Andrei Svechnikov. That's a big deal to me. Timo Meier becoming a Devil, that's a big acquisition for them. So it's a power play goal. A little bit of bad luck. I think it might have went off a Goodrow. But, Meier, open shot in the slot, scores, makes it 2-0. Then the Rangers get a power play. Trocheck, who drew both penalties, both actually were Erik Haula trips, ironically. The Rangers don't score on this power play, so that's also a bad job. Or even strength does poorly, then the special teams does bad, where power play for the Devils, they score. Power play for the Rangers, they don't score. So bad in all facets. Second period, also, I didn't think was off to a great start. It got better. The Rangers just got a little bit better. I feel like the Rangers tightened up defensively. They were just bad on all angles. But defensively, they tightened up. It's not as if they got many shots on goal. I mean, the Rangers had 25 shots to goal all game, and they were trailing all game. So, not great. But at 10:47, Trouba interferes with Hischier, but the Rangers kill it off. And then soon thereafter, it's kind of funny how it works out, where in the first period, you had a situation. So the Rangers make up for things out of what I just said before, where the Rangers give up the power play goal, and then they don't score one. Here, they kill it off, and then they do score. At 13 minutes, Erik Haula trips Trocheck. And at 13:24 of the power play, Devils, they make a mistake. They can't clear the puck a couple times, and eventually Chris Kreider scores his 33rd goal of the season, and it's assisted by Mika Zibanejad. So Zibanejad finds Kreider, and he scores past Vitek Vanacek to give the Rangers a 2-1 lead. And that would be the score at the end of two. And that would be the score at the end of the game. There were no more goals, no more penalties. I thought the Rangers in the third, I thought at times they had chances to tie it. Trocheck had a good chance. There were some other opportunities. But 6-on-5, also the Rangers, there were moments, like I said, mainly the Ryan Graves, I guess he kind of lifted the stick, or, he just was a little bit stronger than Vlad Tarasenko in front of the net. And the Devils win 2-1. And so that's a pretty big result. The Rangers, as we've always known, I mean, the Rangers are likely, and, the Rangers will, with what happened here, it's likely the Rangers will finish in third. Not impossible. It's not, there's 7 games left. They could still jump up. But for me, I wouldn't mind if New Jersey passes Carolina. I'm just saying. I wouldn't mind it, but we'll see how that goes. Quick turnaround for the Rangers. They play tomorrow night at Buffalo, and, it's kind of a weird situation where it's just late season games with the Sabres. They played them a few weeks ago, also at Buffalo for the first time. This is game 2, and then pretty soon they'll play home against Buffalo for the first time this season. The Sabres at this point, really, the chances of making the playoffs are not great, but certainly not impossible. They could find their way into that last spot, but I wouldn't count on it. So Buffalo, it's a team that's been struggling. They haven't won a whole lot. And, we'll see Jarl Halak in net. The Rangers are usually pretty good in these second games of back-to-backs and, sort of responding for maybe underwhelming games. So I'd expect the Rangers to play pretty well. But you got to also think about the fact that this was, a fairly emotional game. It didn't always feel that way from the Rangers side of things, but, there could be a little bit of a letdown, possibly. Jarl Halak will certainly be a net for the Rangers, and so it'll feels a little bit weird they have this game tomorrow against Buffalo, but the season moves on. Still 7 games to go, and the Devils pick up a big win versus the Rangers. They win 2-1, and now the Rangers find themselves 4 points behind New Jersey.